Greetings and salutations, Mega Wizard 79 here with another post-commentary episode for Nier. In this episode, as you are, I'm assuming you guys are watching the non-commentary version first before watching this one. If not, well then, what I'll be doing here is just going straight to the boss fight here, where you basically fight Adam and Eve. Well, you just fight Adam, and then Eve pops out and saves him. But yeah, so once again, I'm just stocking up on some stuff, mostly just recovery items and whatnot, since I have the money. Yeah. So yeah, just heading down this way. So for the most part, nothing really changes here overall. During the second playthrough, you still got those big, giant, relatively harmless enemies. With some more relatively dangerous ones peppered in. Not that many though. They're mostly situated towards the ends, as opposed to like being in the center or anything. Like in the center, you just have those big ones that don't really do anything to you. What is it like? Well, actually, that reminds me. No, I wasn't heading straight towards the sorry, what I was doing was basically I was just going around. I was first just going around. Just basically doing some minor exploration before I just head straight to the boss. Just because since I know where the boss is, and he's really not that hard at all. Especially given the fact that he starts off as a level 1 and the highest he ever goes is like level 11. I'm a level 34, so he really doesn't do that much damage to you. So I'm just going around and trying to see if I can find any chests that I can open as 9S. So yeah, I only realized too late, I suppose, that basically this is the way you come out after you beat that boss. So yeah, that was a complete and total waste of time. And now I'm just jumping around to see if I completely walked right by that, didn't I? Damn. Oh well, it was a small chest anyway, so I wouldn't have had anything interesting. Probably maybe a healing item or something. Yeah. So, yeah, see? Like, basically, like, the more dangerous enemies are kind of more in, like, little nooks and not really anywhere near the center. And there you go, trying to do the hacking again. And I'm pretty sure... Oh, am I actually going to... Nope. Yeah. I swear. Hacking is hard. I mean, it's a much more convenient way to kill enemies as 9S, just because 9S only has access to one weapon. But boy gee whiz, it is not easy. At all. Well, but yeah, so nothing's, like I said, nothing's really changed since the first playthrough. So the items that are always scattered about, that you see in every area, like, to be honest, they're kind of I kind of find them as relatively annoying, really. Just because of the fact that those items, they never tend to be anything particularly good because they're already there pre-spawned, as opposed to, you killing an enemy and getting it as a drop. So yeah, so most of the time, they're either what do you call it? They're either like basically really easy materials that you can just come by, or just pointless garbage, really. like for the most part, anything you can just pick up by finding it is never going to be anywhere near as valuable as something that you actually get as a drop. Yep. That being said, though, because I can just get it to fly towards me, I'm gonna go grab it anyway.
Hey, our leader told me all about you. Name's Jackass. Nice to meet you. I hear you're planning
This
to
is
take
my
out all the
favorite
machines in the
character.
desert?
Next to 2B and the commander, this is my favorite character in this entire game. Just because of the fact that she's just so damn like the sass is strong in this one.
Wow.
she is just a complete and total
Don't go trying to be a hero,
like
Don't
like
go trying to be a hero.
I don't want to really call I don't want to call her a bitch, but man, she just has that sense of charm. She's just an absolute bastard, and I love her for it. It's hilarious. Just because essentially with her, pretty much if you can't blow it up, then it's not really worth considering. Because that's how she solves all her. It's because you know how in Star Wars, essentially Palpatine solves everything by just lightning people to death, which is a very effective strategy, mind you. Well, with Jackass, is like, if she can't blow it up, then it's not worth her time. I swear, it's funny. I just find it hilarious how she just is such an amazing explosive expert. And she's very valuable to the Resistance just because of the fact that she's a really good scout and all that. Apparently she has like a little I want to say she probably even has like a degree in geology or something, because later on in a side quest you find her basically doing some I guess some spelunking, basically searching out for minerals and stuff. Like, and apparently through that same side quest, you find out that, what is it, like, so you find out she's either a lesbian, or at the very least, she's really close to to basically a specific female android. Like,
these machines
because
are talking.
I don't know, because basically, given her personality, I don't think she would be, I don't really see her just basically giving a gift to someone in a platonic manner. I feel like they would have to be really close for her to basically do something like that. So yeah, that's the gravity ability, which is actually very useful for this one. Just because even though the missiles do have auto targeting, if you can just cluster them all together, it's just so much better. And I find it like the size of those little gears, that turn, like those gears that we pick up that basically equate to money. Like eventually they're gonna start getting really big. I mean, case in point, I picked up a grand just from one of them. Yeah. Now, the thing I don't really like about that pod program specifically is that the direction that it'll shoot it is it's dependent on which direction 9S is physically pointing, because you can't control the pod with the left thumbstick when it's doing that. You can only ever control the pod with the right thumbstick, and in that case, you're only controlling the camera because the pod is kind of linked to the camera. But yeah, so whenever it does that, whenever it's doing that, whenever you're doing that one, whenever you're doing a pod program that requires it to basically target, to basically hit like an area or something, its spawning direction, the direction that it will basically just go to shoot first, will be completely dependent on which direction 9S or 2B is specifically pointing at, depending on the pod. Again, just another email that everyone receives in every playthrough, or at least in the first 2 playthroughs. I don't know about the 3rd yet. But yeah, we just I just opened it just to get rid of it. But yeah, I don't know if they have a delete function in that thing. I think I might check it later to see if like there's a if you can just delete some of these emails. Mostly just because of the fact they're kind of useless. Now, here's something that I really hate about, yeah, and see, like, basically the pod program is, its direction is completely dependent on which way 9S is facing. But yeah, but the thing I kind of hate about that sand sliding thing is that it always triggers when you don't want it to. To be honest, pretty much even if you're on a slight incline, yeah, say it's just gonna force you into that animation, which is really annoying, especially when you're doing the whole John Paul questline and you're basically you're trying to talk to one of his stupid fans, because she's kind of in a divot with sand surrounding her, so every time you try to get close to her, your character just starts slipping and sliding, and it's so aggravating to hold still. Sorry. So yeah, I'm just looking around. I mean, obviously. Now, I don't necessarily think I have to go to every single red area, but I'm just doing it just for the sake of not breaking the quest line. Even though this one's kind of out of my way, because it's all the way over there. I mean, I think the only one that matters is really the one in the center, where eventually that little machine pops out, and you essentially have to chase him all through the city, all through the ruins. Oh boy. And now here we come to flying enemies. So, flying enemies were kind of annoying to fight as 2B. They're really annoying to fight as 9S. Just because of the fact that you don't have a heavy attack, so you can't do a slam. It makes it harder to really hit those things. You're only stuck with the light attack, and that's it. And you lose out on a really useful little gimmick where you just jump over them and then just come down with a really powerful overhead attack. Like, you can't do that as 9S. All you can do, because that's dedicated to because your heavy attack is now your hacking button. So yeah, and I come to realize that gravity doesn't really work on these guys because they're already up in the air. Like, even if they're close to the ground, it doesn't really work. Boy. Yeah. As you can see, they're just really tanky. Most because of the fact that 9S just only has access to one weapon, so they don't really deal that much. I'm not really dealing that much damage. And then I mean, to be honest, I really should be practicing the hacking thing, because that's 9S's strength and his bread and butter. So to be honest, I really should be Like instead of keeping the setup that I have right now with my current chips, which are much more combat oriented, I should really just get rid of some of those and replace them with more supportive chips. You know, things that basically work in a better supporting faction. Now, that I just don't get. How he's able to do that despite the fact that he's held in that gravity field. Because as you saw, the gravity field didn't go off yet. Like, it was still in effect. So I'm just like, man, the power of cutscenes is strong. I swear. It's just, I mean, yeah, it is one of the concessions you kind of have to make, because otherwise then, you know, basically the game developers have to come up with a more clever way to lead you towards where you want to go.
A volcano erupted. From the fires of the eruption, a god emerged. One day, the god appeared before the machines and said,
to be honest, I have no clue what. I mean, some of these, some of these little things where, like, you can kind of make you can kind of make what's the word? Because these cutscenes where 9S is essentially talking about well, what looks like just random dribble. Essentially. What do you call it? Like, to be honest, I really don't know. Like, apart from the fact that it's just more lore, I don't really get what the context is here. Like, why they're showing us this stuff. It's weird. It doesn't really make any sense to me.
Negative. Living conditions were mandated by economic imbalance and a lack of space.
Man, humans sure are weird creatures.
Again, like, it's so it's just so odd that basically androids just really don't know much about their human creators. Like, they're so annexed from what humans are essentially associated with, what they're capable of, and all that stuff. Like, they're just completely and totally unable to comprehend any of it. Now, I think in here it's just I think it's just some kind of pamphlet or something. Yeah, like, a bulletin record. So, yeah, so as I said, some of these items...
This is data from the old world.
Yeah, like, some of these items, they're not the greatest. They're mostly just lore things. Of course, though, it is this data from the old world is kind of useful for the most part, because it's tied to a quest concerning Pascal. So you just getting it now just basically saves you the legwork later. Yeah. Once again, I'm just just like giving you guys the chance to read that, for those of you who care to. Let's see, so... Yep, that's just a... if you have no problem... If you have a problem, respond. If you don't have a problem, no response is needed. It's like... So, yeah, so... 210 is the only one who actually sends these things. Which is... and that's essentially what I was checking. Like, I was looking, the reason I went into 2B's emails to see, like, I wonder if 2B got a message like this, and it's like, nope. Only 9S gets that, because 210 is the only one who's actually very professional with her job. And, yep, just dealing with the mob trash. From trash to scrap in record time. It's funny. Nah, it's not really that funny, but still. Anyway, So now we get to play that oh so wonderful game that we all love to play as gamers. Run down the NPC, who's always gonna be just 10 feet ahead of you forever. I mean, granted, in this case, I'd say he's like I'd say he's at least like 5 yards, but still, my point is that we're just stuck doing a chase sequence for no particular reason, to be honest. Yeah, it's kind of weird that we have to, I guess, chase him. Especially since the pod has already placed what is it like sorry but yeah, like my pod, she already recorded that machine's specific ID signature. So to be honest, it doesn't matter how far it runs, we should be able to track it anywhere as long as we're within range. And since basically our map is tied to satellite imaging, there'd be no safe place for this thing to hide, especially given the fact that, the satellite imaging in this game is so powerful that you can actually, receive readings from all the way, like, underground. Like, we're talking, like, at least, like, a story or two underground. So, why do a chase scene at all? Why not just have us track him? It's odd. What's really odd, though, is that they didn't repeat the thing where you fight a big guy here. Instead, they just, again, have us fight this mob trash. Oh, wait, no, there it is. Spoke too soon. Oopsie. Oh, this is post-commentary, so, this is... and when I do this, I don't necessarily do it right away, mostly just because of the fact of my living conditions. So, there may be times, like here, where I say stuff that I'm more like, oh, then, but this didn't happen, but it did happen, but I forgot, because, like, this is, I'm doing this, like, maybe a day or two after the fact. And once again, I'm still not good at this. And I shouldn't be shooting my cover. And I'm about to die. Awesome. Flew right into it. This is attempt number 3 for those of you at home. Oh, so close. I wasn't close. Not even remotely. Here we go. Attempt number 4. 4th time's the charm, right? Oh my god, look at this. It's like, yeah, alright. Lucky number 5. Come on. I can do this. I can't do this. I feel like the game cheats, to be honest. And I die. One more time! One more time! Jesus. Number 7! Wow, I was really persistent. I really wanted to get it off at least once. I think at this point I just finally give up. Nope! One more time! Number 8! Woo! I know eventually I just give up. Yep. I just gave up. It's like, screw this. It's like the damn thing is already almost dead. Forget it. I'm like, why was I trying so hard? And then the loot I get isn't even all particularly that great either. It's like, totally totally worth it, right?
Not this way.
How does it get lost? It's been going in a straight line this whole
I
time.
wonder what makes them choose these words.
Oh boy. Oh goodness gracious, I swear. Like,
These are android bodies.
yeesh.
Hypothesis. They were killed by local machine life forms.
What are they doing here?
Unknown.
It's like they were gathered here.
You know, I never really understood why, you know, the pod is supposed to be very... It's supposed to be the most robotic thing of Yorha at all. Like, you know, it has limited, it has, like, limited personality, limited everything, really. So...
Multiple machines detected ahead.
I wonder why...
Stay focused.
I still wonder why they have, you know, they have it still say stuff like, oh, this unit was killed. This unit is deceased. It's like, you guys are artificial life forms. You were never alive to begin with. So, why are you using these specific terms? You know, like terms that are usually associated to things that are made of flesh and blood. You know, like a boar can be killed. A moose can die. You know, stuff like that. But you guys are robots at the end of the day. So, I mean, you know, the pods are more robot than anything else. You know, they're not even remotely an android or even these complex machines. So, I just don't get it. So at this point, since I already know what's going to happen, they're all just going to attack me anyway, I just decided to start killing them. Because, yeah, see, they just started attacking me, so I figured I'd try and thin the herd, but it seems I walked a little too forward and they just all started attacking me. I mean, that guy showed up, which triggered them all to attack. Man, I love that chip. It's like, any damage I take is a joke, because I don't die from it. Should be reaching level 35 in a second here soon. I should have bought that experience meter a while ago. It only takes one slot, so... And it's really kind of useful, to be honest. I was actually considering a playthrough where I just take off every chip that is basically associated to my hub, so no map, no health bar, none of that stuff. And to be honest, given the fact that I have this, you know, I have this, you know, I have these chips that pretty much, you know, like case in point, like you see how I'm glowing there? My character's auto healing. If I'm outside of combat for a little while, my character starts auto healing at 1.2% a second. Something like that. Like, it's a really small percentage, but it happens pretty damn quick. Yeah, I think I heal like 0.05 health at like, you know, per second or something like that. So yeah, so that's not it's negligible, but not that negligible. Honestly, I have no idea where the hell all these machines came from. Like, I assume they all just jumped from the ceiling or something. Now they're all having an aneurysm. And now they're all coming together to form a womb.
What's happening?
The miracle of life, 9S. Congratulations, it's a boy.
An android?
No, this is a machine.
This is so weird. And this thing is clearly a Ken doll, because it has no gender. It has no sex organ. at all. Of course, that's for the sake of, you know... Shh.
Droids, why fight?
So, yeah. So, for the most part, this is pretty... It took a lot longer to get here than it will to basically kill this thing. Like,
Projectile.
this fight should be done in, like,
I think he's
a minute or less.
We better finish this
Pretty
quick.
much. Like, we'll see. Like, I'm actually looking at the timer right now, and it's, I mean, this is already, like, stage 2 of the fight, where he just basically goes up there and starts doing range attacks like a jerk. And he's well out of our reach. I still have no idea how these machine or android powers actually work. Like, you know, like the fact that he's just able to summon these geysers out of the ground. It's like what is this? Like, what are you doing? What are you altering? Yeah, see, he's already level 10, and he's dead. Yep. Pretty much a minute. This took like a minute.
Is this machine?
Honestly, I don't know if that's supposed to imply that he basically has hair all over his lower body, or if that's just dirt. And apparently,
Damn it, not another one.
he can reproduce asexually. Hello, Eve.
2B, we gotta get out of here.
And he's bringing the house down. It's funny, when I was first playing this game, I'm like, oh, so you were just you were born just to die, huh? It's like, honestly, like, I would assume the only reason they're afraid of getting stuck down here is just the fact that they would probably be stuck, not so much that they would be crushed or anything, because, you know, as long as the bunker is intact, they can always just teleport back up towards it, you know, and just get a new body.
It stopped.
So I would assume that the signal strength is so bad down here
I know.
that if they just allowed themselves to be crushed, they'd be stuck in essentially a limbo, because they wouldn't be able to access the bunker network, and thus they wouldn't be able to upload themselves back into the server, and thus, you know, back into a new body.
Let's move to an area with better reception so we can contact command.
So I never noticed. I didn't know that. What is it like? So I go down this way because I didn't realize. I always thought this was just a straight, you know, singular path. But then I found this, and it's like, oh, cool. It's like I found a side path. You know, like which is, you know, the whole point of what I'm trying to do here. You know, just find these side paths and find these like weird items and stuff. Now, I feel like I kind of have to do this if I want to get these items, because after I do this, I can't get back up there now. So essentially, the shortcut I would have been able to open to get back to that specific hole, like, I can't do it anymore. Like, that area is now completely locked off to me because I can't jump that high. I don't know that yet, and I just keep trying to basically get back up there, to no avail, which, I mean, I don't know.
Ready to receive.
Hopefully you can get something out of it.
I mean, fortunately I didn't break the quest chain, since I was able to just, you know, I was able to contact command from here. Unfortunately, though, unfortunately, though, because I'm all the way back here, that means I have to run all the way back to the center part of the desert before I can get back to the base camp. Because, unlike before, if I just kept going up that way, that would have led me right back to that little nook where I found those 3 machines, and then from there, it just would have been a hop, skip, and a jump to the what do you call it, to the Resistance Desert camp location. Unfortunately, though, because I did this, now I can't get back there anymore because for whatever reason there's just a bunch of invisible walls all around that, making it impossible for me to get back up there. Don't understand why that's a thing. Doesn't really make much sense to me, considering that I don't really think even if you could have gotten up there at any time, I don't think you could get to the boss chamber realistically from there. I mean, you can, but I don't necessarily know if it's I don't necessarily yeah, because like the way out, it doesn't open until after the place starts coming down. So I would assume that you can't even if you could jump up there and go through that direction, I don't think you could get into the boss chamber from that direction. And even if you could, what difference would it make, really? I mean, it's not like Adam or Eve would be right there for you to kill right off the bat or anything, so I don't really know why they would limit that. And here's another chest. I think this one has I think this one has a weapon in it. Nope, it was just more information from the old world. This one has to deal with the Gestel project, which is a big thing from the first Nier. Case in point that it's in the name, Nier Gestel. But yeah, again, I've never played the original Nier, so I wouldn't really know much about the Gestel project. All I know, for the most part, is that I think it had to do with some kind of disease that essentially killed out all of humanity, and that's as far as I know. Like it's just some kind of it was some kind of project where basically they were purposely infecting people to basically get something out of it. Like I don't know if they were trying to get a cure or if they were just trying to create a new race of super soldiers. I really don't know, but yeah, it has to do with some kind of like really potent infection that just outright annihilated all of humanity because it was just that effective. That being said, though, because it's funny. It kind of sounds almost like the Black Plague or the Red Death, and if that's true, then technically speaking, that virus should have killed that disease, be it bacteria or a virus. It should have killed itself, because if it literally destroys. If it has that high level of a mortality rate, then normally these things, they just burn themselves out because they can't get to a host fast enough because they're killing their host faster than they can get any real benefits from it. At least that's essentially how the Black Plague worked. Like it literally killed itself because it couldn't multiply faster than it was killing its hosts.
So I guess, thanks or whatever.
God, I love her. I want to check if she says one more thing.
Go trying to be a hero, all right?
Nope, she just repeats that again. I really wish she was more. I really wish she was voiced act more. I honestly feel like she should have had all her quests, side and primary quests. Like I just think she should have had them all voice act. It would have been great just listening to that actor just talk about, just like say some of the things that Jackass says during the game. So yeah.
All right, let's go back.
You got it.
I'm really.
Mail notification received.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Like, 2B, one of 2B's weapons was literally sticking right out of her chest cavity. I'm like, it's like, it's kind of funny because glitches like that almost never happen. This game is actually very well done because, well, it's Platinum Games. Like, as far as I know, I don't think Platinum Games are really known for poor quality games.
They're speaking.
They deliver. They make some really, really good stuff. But yeah, it's just you usually don't see glitches like that in this game, to be fair. Like, you might see some weird things here and there, but usually nothing to that degree. Just because of the fact that, just, 9S and 2B are just relatively that well animated, if you will. I mean, granted, when... Oh my god, it's still sticking through it! Oh, that is so funny! Oh my god, I can't... I totally forgot about that. It's great. It's just great and amazing. Oh boy, like, seriously, it's stuff like that that's just, it's funny. It's just, it's funny. You can't make this stuff up, people. Well, but yeah, so now we're just, the only reason I just came all the way back here to the resistance camp is because I wanted to gain access to the, like, I totally forget that I have to talk to her to basically gain access to this thing, because, there's a room in there, where basically, where the two characters can essentially just, save and all that stuff. Oh my goodness. I really wonder how that happens. Like, like what kind of programming glitch causes things like that to happen, where it's like, because these things are always free floating, so they're designed to always like be in a specific location when they're not in use. That's the reason why they appear and disappear. But oh, I guess it's just kind of hard to basically deal with two weapons at the same time usually. Anyway, but yep. So I'm just yeah, like I usually like doing this. Like that's usually I usually like ending my episodes like that. But anyway, until next time, this is Mega Wizard 79 bidding you all adieu.